Something is happening at Shinnecock Hills right now that the PGA Tour did not want you to see. This week, golf's biggest major of the summer is underway. But the story everyone is talking about isn't who's leading. It's who isn't even there. 9 major names are missing from the US Open field this week, and one of them just walked off the course in the middle of his round. By the time this video ends, you are going to understand exactly why insiders are calling this the most chaotic US Open in over a decade. Before we get into this, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because we break down everything happening in professional golf before anyone else does, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming in this video. Now here's why you need to watch this entire video. We are counting down all 9 names, from the smallest surprise to the most shocking absence of the entire 2026 season. Number 1 on this list happened literally this morning, and when you hear what it means for his career, you are not going to believe it. So stay with me, because every single one of these stories connects to a bigger problem brewing inside the PGA Tour. Let's set the scene. This week, the 126th US Open is being played at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club out in Southampton, New York, one of the oldest and most brutal courses in American golf. This is only the 6th time in history the US Open has come back to this course, and the last time it did, back in 2018, Brooks Koepka walked away with the trophy. We'll come back to him very soon, because what happened to him this week is one of the biggest shocks on this entire list. This year's tournament has one massive storyline hanging over it. World number 1 Scottie Scheffler has a chance to complete the career Grand Slam. He's already got the Masters from 2022 and 2024, the PGA Championship from last year, and the Open Championship from last year too. The only major missing from his trophy case is the US Open. And here's the wild part. The final round this year falls on Father's Day, which also happens to be Scheffler's 30th birthday. If he wins, it is one of the greatest storylines in modern golf history. Rory McIlroy is also chasing something big. He's looking for his 7th major and his first US Open title in 15 years. Bryson DeChambeau is back to defend the title he won last year. On paper, this should be one of the most stacked fields we've seen in years. And honestly, it is stacked. Over 150 players are in the field. But the real headline isn't who showed up. It's who didn't. And as you're about to see, this isn't just bad luck for a few unlucky golfers. This is starting to look like a real problem for the PGA Tour, with major champions, fan favorites, and legends all missing from the biggest stages, one tournament after another. So let's count them down. 9 names, 9 reasons, and one massive question hanging over the entire PGA Tour. Stick around till the very end, because I'm going to tell you exactly what this means going forward. Number 9 on our list is Marc Leishman. Now if you don't follow golf closely, Leishman might not ring a bell right away, but he's a 6-time PGA Tour winner and one of the most respected names to ever come out of Australia. Since making the move over to LIV Golf, Leishman has been almost completely shut out of major championship golf, and this US Open is no exception. He's not in the field at Shinnecock Hills this week, and honestly, either are most of his LIV teammates. This brings up a question that keeps getting bigger every single major. Is the divide between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf actually shrinking the talent pool at these tournaments? Because every time a LIV player misses out, fans online start asking the same thing. Why are we not seeing golf's biggest stars compete against each other on the biggest stages? Number 8 is a name that golf fans have not stopped talking about for years, Anthony Kim. If you don't know his story, Anthony Kim was once considered one of the most talented golfers on the planet, a former Ryder Cup star who disappeared from the sport for over a decade before resurfacing with LIV Golf. His comeback story alone could be its own documentary. But once again, he's nowhere to be found at a major championship this week. For a player who generated so much buzz with his return, his continued absence from major championship fields is becoming its own storyline, and not the one fans were hoping for. Number 7 might actually shock some of you. Sergio Garcia. This man had played in 25 consecutive US Opens. 25. That streak is now over. Garcia tried to qualify through final qualifying and came up just short, finishing 2 shots outside the cut line. For a player with a runner-up finish at this very championship back in 2007, missing out through qualifying, rather than injury or controversy, is a brutal way for that historic streak to end. It's a quiet kind of heartbreak, and it's a reminder that even legends aren't guaranteed a spot anymore. Number 6 is Max Homa, and this one stings for a different reason. Homa is one of the most popular golfers on tour right now, known just as much for his personality and his social media presence as his golf game. He actually had a real shot to qualify, playing all the way into a playoff at a qualifying event in Canada, but he bogeyed the very first extra hole and missed out. This is his 2nd consecutive US Open absence, and his first missed major of the entire year. For a guy with 6 PGA Tour wins to his name, watching the biggest tournament of the summer from home is not the storyline anyone expected from him in 2026. Number 5 is Tony Finau, and this one is a real gut punch for golf fans. Before this year, Finau had played in 33 consecutive major championships. That streak is officially dead. He failed to qualify for the Masters, the PGA Championship, and now the US Open, all in the same year. Keep in mind, this is a guy who finished 5th at this exact course back in 2018 and was in the final group that week. Now he's sitting at 109th in the world ranking, watching all 3 majors of the year go by without him. For a 6-time PGA Tour winner, this kind of fall is the type of story that makes fans start asking hard questions about depth and consistency on tour. Number 4 is where things start getting really concerning, because this next name didn't lose his spot. He had to give it up. Marco Penge. This guy was one of the breakout stars of the entire season, fresh off his first DP World Tour win and looking like one of the best young talents in his rookie PGA Tour year. But behind the scenes, Penge has been dealing with a frightening health situation. It started with a viral infection back in November, and things spiraled from there. He developed vertigo. He missed the cut at the PGA Championship, while clearly not right. Then he picked up a sinus infection. Doctors have put him through MRI scans on both his brain and his neck trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And just days before this US Open, his team made the difficult call to officially withdraw him from the tournament. This isn't a story about a guy choosing to skip a major. This is a young star's career being put on hold because of his health, and right now, nobody knows exactly when he'll be back on a golf course. That's a scary thought for any 28-year-old at the start of what should be a breakout career. If you think that's the biggest shock on this list, you are not ready for what's coming. We've still got 3 names left, and trust me, the next ones are going to make you understand exactly why people are saying the PGA Tour has a real problem on its hands right now. Number 3 is one of the biggest names in golf history, Phil Mickelson. This man needs only the US Open to complete the career Grand Slam, and he has finished runner-up at this exact tournament a record 6 times. You'd think a player with that kind of unfinished business would do everything possible to be in this field. Instead, this marks the first time since 2017 that Mickelson is missing the US Open entirely. He has played just one event all year, at LIV Golf South Africa, reportedly due to personal and family health matters. On top of that, there have been reports that Mickelson lost his membership at a golf club following allegations of inappropriate conduct toward a female employee. Mickelson has denied the claims, and a spokesperson for him has said the situation has been resolved as a misunderstanding. Whatever the full truth turns out to be, the bottom line is this: one of the most recognizable names in the sport, a man chasing one of golf's rarest achievements, is sitting this major out entirely, and that alone tells you something is not right. Number 2 on our list is the story that's developing as we speak, and it's honestly one of the most dramatic in-tournament moments we've seen at a major in years. Brooks Koepka. 2-time US Open champion. 5-time major winner. The defending champion at this very golf course back in 2018. Koepka came into this week already a bit of a question mark after withdrawing from the RBC Canadian Open with a hand injury. But he said he planned to play the US Open, and he showed up, he warmed up, and he looked completely fine on the range. Then something strange happened. Koepka later explained that once he got out and tried to grip the club for real, his ring finger and his pinky finger went numb, and he physically could not hold onto the club properly. He described the whole day being affected by it, with the feeling only starting to come back in his hand toward the final few holes. He even said he wasn't sure if it was the medication kicking in or something else entirely, and that he's still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with his hand. Think about that for a second. A 2-time US Open champion, playing at the course where he won one of his titles, dealing with a mystery hand injury severe enough that he couldn't properly grip a golf club during a major championship round. That is not a small story. That's the kind of moment that makes you wonder how much more this man's body can take after everything he's already been through with injuries over his career. And now, the name everyone has been waiting for. The biggest absence. The one that changes the entire conversation around this tournament. Number 1 is Tiger Woods. This marks the 2nd consecutive US Open that Tiger has missed, meaning he has now played in this championship only once since missing the cut at Winged Foot back in 2020. But the reason behind it this time is far more serious than just injury management. Earlier this year, Tiger was involved in a rollover crash in Florida and was arrested and charged with driving under the influence with property damage, along with refusal to submit to testing. Since then, reports have indicated that Tiger has been undergoing rehabilitation treatment in Switzerland, and recent images suggest he has only just returned home after that period away. At 50 years old, with 15 major championships and 3 U.S. Open titles to his name, nobody currently knows when, or even if, we will see Tiger Woods compete in tournament golf again. For a sport that has been built around his name for over 2 decades, that uncertainty alone is enough to shake the entire golf world. So there you have it. 9 massive absences, from Marc Leishman and Anthony Kim, all the way up to Phil Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, and Tiger Woods himself, all missing from the same U.S. Open field. Add in the freak weather delay that already suspended play this morning at Shinnecock Hills because of thick fog rolling in off the Atlantic, and you start to understand why so many fans are calling this the most chaotic build-up to a U.S. Open in years. Here's the bigger question this raises. The PGA Tour keeps promoting these majors as can't-miss events featuring the best players in the world, but week after week, major after major, we keep seeing massive names missing from the field, whether it's injury, health scares, controversy, or the ongoing fallout from the LIV golf split. At some point, fans are going to start wondering if these fields truly represent the best of the best, or if golf's biggest stage is slowly losing some of its biggest stars. What do you think? Is this just a rough stretch of bad luck hitting a lot of players at once, or is this a real warning sign for the health of the PGA Tour and major championship golf going forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I read every single one, and I want to know who you think is the biggest loss from this list. If you made it this far, you clearly love this kind of breakdown, so do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, smash the like button so this video reaches more golf fans, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our coverage as this tournament unfolds over the weekend. We will be back with updates as the leaderboard takes shape and as we find out whether Scottie Scheffler can complete his Grand Slam on his 30th birthday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.